when I wrote it out to the careers of the people I was talking about, right? But it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs.
What if everything you thought you knew about Hollywood was a lie? Behind the glitz, the red carpets, and the carefully staged interviews lies a world few dare to talk about. But now, two men, Terrence Howard and Katt Williams, have had enough. They're not just whispering behind closed doors anymore. They're calling people out by name. They're exposing the rituals, the agendas, and the dark games behind fame.
Well, it would have been hard to recognize most of it right away just because we didn't know the length of time that we were talking about. And honestly, most of us thought that it was pretty ridiculous to think that.
And at the center of it all, Sean Diddy Combs. You might remember when Katt Williams went viral for claiming the industry tried to break him. People laughed. They called him crazy. But now, Terrence Howard is backing him up, and the story just took a dangerous turn. And here's the kicker. There are rumors they're joining forces to launch a podcast that could shatter the entertainment industry for good. But how deep does this rabbit hole go? Let's break it down. Terrence Howard has been quiet for years. Despite being a major star in films like Hustle and Flow and Iron Man.
First, Larry, I'd be remiss if I didn't say what a great pleasure this is to be with you. I think you need to know that for a lifetime, you've been an exposer of substance.
He's never been one to chase drama, but when he sat down with Patrick Bet-David for a raw, unfiltered interview, all of that changed. Right out the gate, Terrence dropped a bomb. He claimed that many male celebrities had to give up their man card to climb the Hollywood ladder. Let that sink in. He wasn't talking about acting choices or sacrificing privacy. He was talking about giving up the essence of being a man. Not just symbolically, but spiritually. When you give up that man card, Terrence said, you don't get it back. And what triggered this bold statement?
If it exists, it will be controlled and regulated. That's just a fact. Whatever it is.
According to him, it all ties back to those infamous Diddy parties. It all started with what looked like a business opportunity. Diddy reportedly reached out to Terrence for weeks, asking him to come over and help with acting lessons. At first, it seemed innocent, just one artist helping another. But when Terrence showed up, something felt off. He said Diddy just sat there. No scripts, no direction, just watching. Then came the next invite. Come by so I can hear your music. Again, Terrence went, and again, Diddy just stared at him.
My life was not going to be complete until I got to your table, because I've spent so long trusting your opinion of people and things and situations.
That's when Terrence's assistant pulled him aside and gave him the real tea. He's not trying to work with you. He's trying to smash. And just like that, Terrence cut off all communication. No calls, no visits, nothing. But according to him, that choice to say no cost him dearly in Hollywood. Long before Terrence spoke up, Katt Williams was already blowing the whistle. He told stories no one wanted to believe, about Diddy's mansion parties, about being propositioned by powerful men in the industry.
That's the game. The game is to how quick can we get this new thing controlled and regulated, right? And we are counting on them to provide this platform.
And about the dark choices that came with saying yes. In one interview, Katt said he turned down $50 million not once, but 4 times. Why? To protect his integrity. And when Diddy himself offered to take him out for dinner, Katt didn't even hesitate. He told him flat out, "I don't let men take me out, sir. I'm good." Most people rolled their eyes.
I was trying to do something there that hadn't been done. I thought that I had figured out the algorithm mathematically, and I thought that I could show that.
Said he was paranoid, bitter, delusional. But now, Suddenly, it's not so easy to dismiss him because Terrence is saying almost the exact same thing. But this rabbit hole goes deeper than Diddy. According to Katt, and now Terrence, there's a long-running agenda in Hollywood aimed at emasculating black men, and it starts with the dress. We're not just talking about costumes or skits. We're talking about the price of admission. Dave Chappelle famously walked away from a $50 million deal.
Well, that's the dynamic of America at that particular time. One of my uncles was the chief of police. Another was the head pastor in town, and, had some dealing.
After being pushed to wear a dress for a film role, Eddie Griffin called it out back in the 90s. Even Kevin Hart, who once said he'd never wear a dress, ended up doing so on SNL. And right after, his career exploded. Coincidence? Or something more? Katt Williams believes it's not just about comedy, it's about control. And according to him, if you say no to the dress, if you say no to them, you get blacklisted.
The world would stop even for a week or slow down for a month. But all of us have been trained for timeouts. You either had it as a kid and the whole thing was sit there and think about what you've done.
When Terrence Howard was dropped from Iron Man 2, Hollywood claimed he was difficult to work with. But according to Terrence, that's just the excuse they ran with. In reality, he says he refused to play the game. He didn't bow. He didn't wear the dress. He didn't sell out his image or his masculinity. And that, he believes, is why doors started closing. My daddy taught me, never take the vertebrae out of your back, Terrence said. Never take the bass out of your throat. And just like that, he was out. Think about it. One of the most recognizable black actors in the business, just gone. Not for scandal, not for crime, but for saying no. The more you look into it, the more the pattern starts to show. When Katt Williams refused to put on a dress for Big Mama's House 2, the role magically landed in Brandon T. Jackson's lap. Jackson did wear the dress, and his career popped. And Katt, he said he watched from the sidelines, knowing full well why he'd been cut out. "You don't want me," he told the studio. "You want Brandon." This idea of the dress moment being a kind of secret test, it keeps coming up again and again and again. Katt called it out. Chappelle called it out. Eddie Griffin too. But no one wanted to listen. Until now. Now imagine this. Katt Williams and Terrence Howard teaming up on a podcast. That's the rumor flying across the internet. And fans are losing it. People are already calling it the most dangerous podcast Hollywood's ever seen. Because if these two really sit down and speak freely, no one in the industry is safe. Think about it. They've got decades of experience, receipts, and stories they've never told publicly. Until now. And unlike most celebs, they don't care about being blacklisted anymore. They've been through it. Now they want to talk about it. One fan on X said, "Put Terrence Howard and Katt Williams in the same room and watch Hollywood burn." Another wrote, "They're both fearless. They've got nothing to lose." But not everyone's cheering them on. Some people say Katt and Terrence are just bitter, that they're making excuses for why they're no longer on top, that they're clout chasing and stirring up old conspiracy theories. But then there's the other side, the people who believe they're finally pulling back the curtain, finally saying the quiet parts out loud. Because let's be real, this isn't just about Diddy. It's not even just about dresses. It's about power. Who holds it? Who protects it? And who's willing to speak out, no matter the cost? So here's the question. What if they're not crazy? What if the wild stories, the Diddy parties, the strange offers, the dress agenda aren't just gossip? What if Terrence Howard and Katt Williams are telling the truth and everyone else is just too scared to back them up? Because if even half of what they're saying is real, then Hollywood isn't just broken, it's built on a lie. Let that sink in. Now, the only question left is, are you ready for what they reveal next? Drop your thoughts below. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming. Because if Katt and Terrence really do join forces, the whole industry might never recover.